President Biden announced new actions to speed up the manufacturing of formula here in the U.S.
I'm invoking what they call the Defense Production Act to ensure that manufacturers have the necessary ingredients to make safe, healthy infant formula here at home. The Defense Production Act gives the government the ability to require suppliers to direct needed resources to infant formula manufacturers before any other customer who may have ordered that good.
While lawmakers work to rectify this issue, families across the country are the ones dealing with this dire situation.
According to health officials in Tennessee, 2 special needs children were hospitalized after their families were unable to buy the specific formula they need. A toddler was in the hospital for about a week and is now back home, but a preschooler who was admitted last month is still there. Despite the president's actions, experts say the earliest the moves could impact formula supply in this country is 8 weeks. We're joined now by Anna Rodney, founder and CEO of the Baltimore-based group Mom Cares. She's also a practicing doula for nearly 15 years. Anna, thank you so much for being here with us today. Let's start with the president's announcement that we just heard. He's invoking the Defense Production Act, and House Democrats are working to pass emergency funding. How much will this affect how your organization is approaching the crisis?
So we're not sure yet. I think that this was a wonderful measure. I feel like we should have kind of started to look at this measure a little earlier than we have. We were looking at shortages and feeling the brunt of shortages as early as February. And so Mom Cares will continue to support the mothers that we have and that we've been supporting since this shortage started to affect our families until we see that there is no sight of the shortage affecting our families moving forward.
So, Anna, I have a sister-in-law that feeds her baby, about 8 months old, formula. She told me the other day she had enough to last until Thursday, which was yesterday, and after that she has no idea where she's gonna be able to get her next container of formula. Now there's children, like we mentioned, in Tennessee that were hospitalized because of the formula shortage and their specific needed formula. What can be done to avoid this situation from recurring? I mean, I can imagine the desperation as you're driving half an hour from where you live just to find one container of formula.
Yes, it's indeed heartbreaking to think of the families who don't have the other options outside of formula needing formula. There are a lot of families that are taking desperate actions, and I would really say that we need to be talking to our pediatricians and our other qualified support folks around us, if we have access to that, to problem solve around how to get formula to our families. There are organizations like mine across the country who are specializing in making sure that we're supporting families. So I would say that looking in your neighborhood around resources that can help you access the formula, and then also working with your pediatrician to find some other alternatives while we wait this out.
And you use the word heartbreaking, of course. So many of your own clients are having a rough time emotionally when it comes to this formula shortage. What are they saying to you?
Well, unfortunately, there has been, because this is in the media, right? Everybody sees and has been able to form an opinion about this shortage. And unfortunately, as it is with mothers, we are kind of getting the blame. Why didn't you breastfeed? Why are you breast is best? Things like that. And it's creating a culture and a feeling of intense guilt for some moms who just don't have the option of breastfeeding. A lot of our families are medically unable to breastfeed because of medication, because of the way the baby came into the world with a traumatic birth outcome, and even, you know, like the families in Tennessee, babies who just are not able to metabolize the formula, the breast milk, and so are dependent on formula. And so this feeling of I failed is happening within our community right now, because we're hearing on a large scale, why don't you just do this? Or why don't you just do that? You're lazy, and all of those other things that are really hurtful and are not the truth. Our families, and I believe personally, all mothers, regardless of how they are handling their family and their babies, their intention is the highest intention of supporting their babies and getting what they need for their babies.
And Anna, we can't forget either. I mean, a lot of moms, they feel guilty when they initially can't or don't choose to breastfeed. So this only compounds that guilt when you do see those messages on social media. I know I've seen it where it's, well, why not just do this? Why not just do that? If it was that simple, I'm sure that the mother would do that. But what are the best formula alternatives? Because as Lindsay was mentioning, the soonest that we could see some type of relief is 8 weeks from now. That's 2 months. So what's a good short-term solution to this for parents out there?
So again, I think that it's important to work with pediatricians to make sure that we're making the best decisions possible for our babies. I know a lot of families are starting to lean on family recipes and internet recipes and diluting milk, and some of those things can lead to even worse health outcomes. So we want to make sure that we're including our pediatrician in our decisions to work with formula. There are still formula options out there. There's liquid formula. The powdered formula is the one that's been hit the hardest with the shortage. So there's liquid formula and then other soy-based formulas. A lot of our moms have been switched with their guidance of their pediatrician to soy-based milk for the time being. And with that, you want to make sure that you are feeding baby when baby is hungry as you're making the transition from one formula to the next. And then also gently easing in the transition of the formula. So maybe one bottle at a time, and then working up from there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much for that advice. And like you said, to contact a pediatrician for your own baby's needs. Anna Rodney, founder and CEO of Mom Cares. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.